Hello friends, this is my second video of securities market under investment analysis and portfolio management. So now today in this video I will discuss you about primary equity market. Although the equity market in India has been functioning since the last 19th century, the primary market, also called the new issue markets, remained rather dull and inactive, bearing occasional but brief bursts of activity till 91. In 1992, the Control of Capital Issues Act was abolished and SEBI was entrusted with the responsibility of regulating the capital market. A series of initiatives taken by SEBI along with a more conducive environment that emerged in the wake of economic reforms imparted a strong fillip to the primary market. Some of the important changes introduced by SEBI are worth mentioning. The first one is free pricing. Companies have been given freedom in pricing their equity shares and determining the interest rate structure on their debt instruments. And the second one is disclosure and investors protection guidelines. Issues of securities have to conform to fairly elaborate disclosure requirements so that investors can take more informed decisions. DIP, that is Disclosure and Investor Protection Guidelines, and their continual improvement have made Indian disclosure requirements comparable to the best international practices. Of course, this has been made the offer document quite voluminous. Now the last, if efficient delivery mechanism. SEBI has made his man, SEBI has made it mandatory for all new IPOs to be issued only in the dematerialized form. Further, the time lapse between the closure of the issue and the listing of shares has been compressed. Now, there are three ways in which a company may raise equity capital in the primary market. The first one is public issue. By far the most important method of public issuing the method of issuing I repeat, by far the most important method of issuing securities, a public issue involves sale of securities to the public at large. Public issues in India are governed by the provisions of the Companies Act 1956, SEBI guidelines on investor protection, and the listing agreement between the issuing company and the stock exchange. The Companies Act describes the procedures to be followed by offering shares to the public and the type of information to be disclosed in the prospectus, and the SEBI guidelines impose certain conditions on the issuers besides specifying the additional information to be disclosed to the investors. The issue of securities to the members of the public involves a fairly elaborate process comprising of the following steps: approval of the board of directors, approval of shareholders, appointment of lead managers, due diligence by the lead manager, appointment of other intermediaries like co-managers, advisors, underwriters, bankers, brokers, and registrars. Preparation of draft prospectus, filing in the draft prospectus with SEBI, application for listing in stock exchanges, filing of the prospectus after incorporating any modifications suggested by SEBI with the registrar of companies, promotion of the issue, printing and distribution of applications, statutory announcement, collection of applications, processing of applications, determination of the liability of underwriters, finalization of accounts, giving the remit credit and refund orders, listing of the issue. Now, the merchant banker handling a public issue plays a multifaceted role. The merchant banker advises the issuing company, performs due diligence on the company, coordinates the work of all agencies involved in the issue, serves as a watchdog for statutory compliance, and protects the interest of investors in fiduciary capacity. Now we will see about public issues in the US. In the US, public offerings of both stocks and bonds are typically marketed by investment bankers who perform the role of underwriters. Generally, the lead investor bankers forms an underwriting syndicate with the other investment bankers to share the responsibility for the issue. The key steps in the public offer are as follows. The firm engages investment bankers by negotiation of competitive bidding. Investment bankers advise the firm on the terms on which it should try to sell securities. The firm files a preliminary registration statement, that is, preliminary prospectus with the SEC. It is also called a red herring prospectus as it includes a statement printed in the red statement stating that the company is not attempting to sell the security before the SEC approves its registration statement. Once the SEC approves the registration statement, it becomes a prospectus and the public offer price of the securities is announced. The underwriting syndicate buys the securities from the issuing firm at the public offer price less a spread that serves a compensation for underwriting. Alternatively, investment bankers do not actually buy the securities but only agrees to help the firm to sell the issue to the public on a best effort basis. The underwriting syndicates resells purchased securities at the offer price. As an investor, you should be familiar with the following aspects of the public issues. Now let's come back to the Indian public issue. A company making a public issue informs the public about it through statutory announcement in the newspapers, makes application forms available through stockbrokers and others, and keeps the subscription open for a period of 3 to 10 days. Investors can now download the application forms from the website of brokers or other distributors like Carvey Consultancy, and the capital market, etc. If the issue is oversubscribed, the pattern of allotment is decided in consultation with the stock exchange where the issue is proposed to be listed. After the allotment pattern is finalized, the company mails the allotment advice or letter along with the refund order if any. This is supposed to be done within few weeks of the closure of subscription. If the full amount is not asked for at the time of allotment, the balance is called in one or two calls later. The letter of allotment is exchangeable for shares or debenture certificates as the case may be, after it is duly stamped by the bank where the balance payment is made. Of course, if the allottee wants, he can sell the letter of allotment itself by transmitting it along with a transfer deed. If the allottee fails to pay the call monies as and when called by the company, the shares are liable to be forfeited. In such a case, the allottee is not eligible for any refund of the amounts paid or already paid. When a company issues new shares by the way of public issue, or for that matter, a rights issue or a bonus issue, these shares may be entitled for dividend only from the date of allotment. As per a central government directive, there is to be only one quotation in a stock exchange for the existing shares of a company, and new shares arising out of the future issues made by the same company. The new shares are, however, permitted to be traded and delivered pari passu with the existing shares against the quotation subject to the deduction of dividend amount, if any, of the previous year. Public issues may be made at a predetermined prices or fixed price issue or at the prices determined on the basis of bids received from potential investors. Book build issues in India historically, public issues have been fixed price issues. In recent years, SEBI has allowed companies to make a book build issues, and this has been a very significant development as amongst all public issues now are book build issues. The mechanism of book building works as follows. The company announces the public issue giving an indicative price band, which is determined in consultation with the lead managers. Investors interested in the issue submit the bid cum application form, mentioning their price and volume options to syndicate members who are on an electronic link platform across the country. When a bid is submitted, it is uploaded on the NSE and BSE system. The status of the book can be seen on the bidding terminals by investors. Investors can revise their bids on any number of times before the bidding process period closes. Once the bidding period is over, the lead manager ascertains the demand functions and decides the issue price and the pattern of allocation in consultation with the issuer. Pricing is generally aimed at ensuring that there is a healthy demand overhang leading to a post listing price that is higher than the issue price. The idea is to leave something on the table for the investors. As far as the allotment is concerned, under the existing regulators, a minimum of 25% has to be allotted to the individual bidding up to rupees 1000. Minimum, I repeat, as far as the allotment is concerned, under the under the existing regulation, a minimum of 25% has to be allotted to the individual bidding up to rupees 1000 shares, and a minimum of 15% has to be allotted to the corporates, HNIs, that is high net worth individuals, and individual investors bidding in excess of rupees 1000 shares, and a maximum of 60% may be allotted to QIBs, that is qualified institutional buyers, such as FIIs, banks, and so on. In the event of oversubscription, allotment has to be done on proportionate basis. Now the Indian public issue market has arrived. In June 2007 marked as a watershed in the Indian public issue market. During this month, companies raised 22,503 crores through initial public offerings and follow-on public offerings. India seems to have arrived in the big league. This is suggested by the following. World's leading investment bankers like Merrill Lynch, Goldman Sachs, Morgan Stanley, and Lehman Brothers have entered India or are entering India in a big way. Appetite for a good quality paper is very strong, and huge mobilization in the primary market have not detented the secondary market. In the recent years, the quality of issuances has improved significantly. Thanks to the stringent entry norms of SEBI, better vetting by SEBI, compulsion participation of qualified institutional buyers, and the involvement of the two national level exchanges. In the 90s, small and numerous issues by relatively unknown promoters dominated the primary market. Today, the issues are larger and fewer and are offered by established companies. Now we will see about IPO grading by credit rating agencies. Traditionally credit rating agencies, we can call it as a CRA, focused on the rating of debt instruments in recent years. In recent years, IPO grading by CRA has begun. The factors normally considered for such grading are business prospects of the company and the industry, financial risk, managerial competence, corporate governance, and accounting quality. It must be emphasized that the purpose of IPO rating is to be assessed by the fundamental strength of the company and do not investment and not the investment attractiveness of the issue. The latter would depend on fundamental strength as well as the issue price. As the old investment adage goes, no stock is inherently good or bad. It is the price which makes it so. Now we will discuss about the rights issue. A rights issue involves selling securities in the primary market by issuing rights to the existing shareholders. When a company issues additional equity capital, it has to be offered in the first instance to the equity shareholders on the pro rata basis. This is required under Section 81 of the Companies Act 1956. The shareholders, however, may by a special resolution forfeit the right, partially or fully, to enable a company to issue additional capital in general public or to selected investor on preferential basis. Now we will see about the procedure for rights issue. A company making a rights issue sends a letter of offer along with the composite application form consisting of four forms A, B, C, and D to the shareholders. Form A is meant for the acceptance of the rights and the application for additional shares. This, forms, this form also shows the number of rights shares the shareholder is entitled to. It also has a column through which a request for additional shares may be made. Form B is to be used if the shareholder wants to renounce the rights in the favor of someone else. Form C is meant for application by the renouncee in whose favor the rights have been renounced by the original allottee through Form B. Form D is used to make a request for split forms. The composite application form must be mailed to the company within a stipulated period, which is usually 30 days. Now the last about we will see about preferential allotment. An issue of equity by a listed company to selected the investors at a price which may or may not be related to the prevailing market price is referred to as preferential allotment in the Indian capital markets such an issue can be made only when the shareholders pass an special special resolution or resolution that is passed by shareholders having at least 75% of the voting rights. A preferential allotment is to be related to a public issue and it should not be confused with the reservation that may be made on a preferential basis for a certain categories of investors in a public issue. Preferential allotment in India is given mainly to promoters or friendly investors to ward off the threat of takeover. This is now a very popular means of raising fresh equity capital because the cost and uncertainty associated with the public issue is high. Sophisticated investors like mutual funds and private equity investors are likely to pay a higher price. The price at which the preferential allotment of shares is made should be should not be lower than the higher of the average of the weekly high and low of the closing price of the shares quoted in the stock exchange during the 6 months period before the relevant date or during the 2 weeks period before the relevant date. So guys, thank you for watching this video. If you enjoyed, please like, share and subscribe to my channel.